scouting meets strategy MLS specialist competition. We both sort of agreed that that one looked like it was going to be fun, and
for £25 picked up a couple just to try and strengthen and hopefully win some cash this weekend. That'd always be nice.
probably a complete overpay.
That is the thing I've learned. Make sure you take that on board.
We're gonna have to go to VAR for this one. What's going on, people? Welcome back to another episode of the Budget Battles. We're on episode 6, and today we have got a new, fresh Toby Alexander on the scene.
Hello Flyndle's channel, thank you everyone for having me on, and I am Toby Alexander.
It has been a while since the last Budget Battles, but boy have I absolutely missed it. And you already know I absolutely love this series, and I love especially to get you guys involved and you know, maybe win you guys a card from Toby or myself, unfortunately giving away a card. So let's get into the rules for today. We are on episode 6 of Budget Battles now, so you should know the rules, but to quickly recap, first of all, we're going to start off with the competition and the budget that we're going to play today. Obviously, you're going to see that in the next clip where we both agree what we're going to be doing over the weekend. Second part of the video will be the lineup building phase, which we will be doing incognito, so pretty much in our own time and not discussing with each other what each other has picked. So the next bit will be even more fun and interesting, where we reveal the lineups to each other. And third and finally, the loser will have to give away one of their cards in the lineup that they did use. So yeah, really exciting for this one, and be sure to follow us both on X to be entered to the giveaway, and also subscribe to both of our channels, otherwise you won't be entered. As simple as that, really. Please do note as well for this competition that XP and collection bonus will not count. So we're joined with Toby, and we have to decide a competition that we would like to be playing and a budget, and I'm going to go ahead and pick the competition for the weekend because we've both sort of seen one that picks our fancy, and it's going to be the scouting meets strategy MLS specialist competition. We both sort of agreed that that one looked like it was going to be fun, and I'm going to allow Toby to pick the budget for the weekend.
I think, yeah, with the MLS cards they can be expensive, so I'm going to go for £25. I reckon get yourself a nice cheap little budget team that hopefully win you some cash.
Brilliant, yeah. Okay, sounds like a reasonable budget. Let's get into the lineup building.
So for this specialist event, obviously we can only have 2 players from the same team, a minimum of 2 players of scoring an average of 50 or below, and 1 player who scores an average of 60 or above. I doubt either of us are going to have a player that scores over 60 or above. I went through Sorare data, had a look at some of the good matchups, and put together a team based on players that I already have in the club, and I picked up a couple just to try and strengthen and hopefully win some cash this weekend. That'd always be nice. So if we go to the squad here, starting out in goal, we have Brad Guzan. He's obviously the cheapest keeper that you can get. MLS goalkeepers are really expensive, so I'd assume that we've both got a classic one. He's got a nice matchup at home to Red Bull. Hopefully he can do okay. I'm hoping for that clean sheet, which is why I've decided to go out and pick up his teammate Stian Gregerson on auction. He's had a better run of form, to be honest, than Brad Guzan, looking at it here. Again, both at home to Red Bull. I hope that they can keep a clean sheet, or at least do well defensively to get me some points. Then when we go to the midfield, we have Sebastian Lletget. He of course is the third player that is over 50, so the last 2 have to be 50 or below, sadly. He's a Dallas player. They have a really nice fixture at home to Chicago Fire. Again, hoping that he can kind of just dictate and get some points for me. He's done okay so far this season. None of these players have lit the world alight, but the issue is with MLS, you can't really get anyone for a squad for £25 that has lit the world alight. Then in the forward options, we've gone for Pedrinho. He's just started out at Dallas, which is why his last 5 is 46. He did score last week. Hopefully he can score again and have a good result. I'm hoping that he can get better week on week. And yeah, let's see how he does this weekend. And then finally, obviously we can't go for an Atlanta or a Dallas player, so we're going to go for Robin Lod. He's not been starting every week, which is a little bit scary to go for a player who may not be in the starting 11. I would assume he would at least come off the bench, which is why I'm not too worried about picking him. Away at San Jose is a very difficult matchup, but he's a good player, and hopefully he can just get an assist or just play well in general or something like that. So this is the lineup that we're going to go for. I'm going to show you how much I paid for each player. Some of the players, like I said, I already had in the club. I'm just going to take their current market value. So the 2 players that I picked up was this Stian Gregerson here, which I paid £9.21 for on auction last night. Then the other player that I picked up was Sebastian Lletget, who I got 2 days ago, and I paid £2.94 for him here. 2 players that I purchased recently that are going into my squad. For the other players, as much as I'd like to say that the Pedrinho cost £1.58, his price has gone up. The same with the other players that I had. If we go to buying them on the market. You can pick up a Pedrinho on, you can buy one for £3.03. Probably not bad actually, not a bad deal for him. A Robin Lud, £4.64 on manager sales. Finally, the last player is Brad Guzan, who of course you've got to buy the classic version of. You can pick one of him up for £4.99. His price has gone up £1 since I started making this, which is always great. But yeah, my thought process was I kind of just went to Sorare data, had a look at the matchups. So yeah, so for the matchups, Dallas have a great fixture, Austin have a nice fixture, Brad Steve would have been nice but he's a little bit expensive, but then Atlanta with a team down here who again have that nice fixture. Minnesota doesn't seem to be too bad either, so I'm not too worried about going for one of them players. If we look at the individual pick scores for some of the players, let me have a look here. So yeah, so looking at some of the pick scores for the players, there is some nice ones. Brad Guzan, AA, which is alright. He's probably the, yeah, as you can see, the cheapest one up here that you can go for that I think will do okay. Obviously Daniel's had a great start to the season, but a little bit more expensive would have put us out of the price budget. Defenders were difficult because there's so many hard ones to choose for the right price. Gregerson has an alright game, but I kind of just like him as a player in general. And hopefully I win so I can keep him, because I would like to actually use that card in the future because he does look really, really solid. And then for midfielders, this was where I used a Sebastian Lletget. Probably the best priced one here in terms of the matchup. Again, it's very, very difficult to try and find players that meet that. Obviously, you see some of the prices like the Ryan Gould, the Acosta. And then obviously, finally, the cheap forward that we went for was, I would have liked to go for the Anderson Julio, but he was just a little bit out of the price range, was the Pedrinho. He was a long way down, I think. Pedrinho is a player that I know scored well last week, which is why I went for him.
If you're watching this video now and you're thinking about signing up Sorare, do not forget to use my link in the description down below. It does really help out a small creator like myself, and if you do use that link, you will even win yourself a free limited card. Right then, boys, we have got an MLS special event to be playing this weekend to battle off against Toby Alexander. We're starting off in net with Daniel. In the defender position, we're going with Matthias Laborda. Terrible at pronouncing names, but hopefully that's how you say his name. In the midfield, we have got Igor Jesus, who is pretty good. He's actually doing pretty well this season. We'll go into each player after we've plugged them in. But yeah, then we've got Shapi up top for Sporting Kansas City, and then we round off the side with an Ivan Angelo. And I just realised you don't. Wow, I just realised you don't have a captain in this. That's going to be interesting. I was going to say I'll captain Igor Jesus, but if we're going with no captain, that is completely fine. And we'll confirm our lineup, and we'll go over each of our picks and just show you guys how much we paid for each of them. I know that the I think that the one of the rules here, I'm not sure how I'm going to see the rules, but anyway, one of the rules was like to get players under a certain, I think it was like under 45 L15 or something like that, and then you can only have one over 60. To be honest, I don't think it was too hard to get one that was well, I don't even think that Toby will struggle to get someone over 60, to be honest, because of the budget that we do have. But yeah, looking at each player then that we've gone with, Igor Jesus is sort of going to be the star man for me. Hopefully, he has a really good weekend, because as you can see, he has started off the season very well, pretty much just getting at 50 to 60 most games, so I feel like he's a pretty safe pick. But you know what Sorare's like, you know what football's like, you think they're safe and then who knows. But we did manage to pick one up for probably a complete overpay, but I did pay £7 for him. Satonio's probably laughing at me, because looking at the recent ones, obviously £4 to £5, so definitely probably taking a loss on this one. But yeah, £7 for Igor Jesus, not too bad, eh? And then we picked up a Shapi for the gallery. Now this is a bit more of a rogue one, if you like. So obviously he's sort of recently moved to the MLS, and he's been getting some really good AA. So obviously the first game he just came on as a sub. The second game he got 10 AA against an Inter Miami at home, which is pretty decent. And then 25 AA against San Jose. So yeah, I was like, you know what? If he gets a decisive on top of the AA that he gets, then we're going to be laughing. and for his price, sorry, I didn't show that, but yeah, it's £3 and 3p. So I was like, you know what? I'm happy to take that risk. I did have a quick look on Predictify as well. Some of the lineups aren't out yet, but I believe the Sporting Kansas City one was out. Yes, it was. And he's 80% to play, so yeah, hopefully he does play and does well. Then we've got the good old reliable Daniel. If you watch Almiron's Army, you know about this man. Obviously, yeah, performed really well for me in the first episode. Second episode, obviously, is what it is. He did concede, but yeah, picked up a Daniel for about £6 and 24p. I think I bought him like a month or you know, not a month, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago for like a fiver, so his price has not really spiked massively, but obviously it is classic, so I guess, I mean, the fact the classic card has gone up in value is probably, you know, says all you need to know about Daniel, really. Then we've got an Ivan Angelo who's yet to sort of kick off his season, but I have sort of tipped him in previous videos to be one that does well this season, so I'm hoping that this can be the start of a good season for Ivan Angelo, and I've put my full trust and faith into him and picked one up for £4 and 99p, which is about his price, to be fair, so we haven't been robbed too bad of that one. And then last but not least, we have got Matthias Laborda. Not great with names, but Uruguayan defender. You know, I mean, usually they're alright. But yeah, you can see recent scores are not like insane, but the reason I picked him is because his matchup is very good. I think Vancouver might have the best matchup going into game week 1, to be honest. So yeah, in terms of picking him, to be honest, it was just fixture related. I did want to double it. So I did pay £2.90 for him, and as you can see in the gallery, I did want to double him up with the Whitecaps keeper, but I think I was just over budget. I could be wrong, to be honest. I might have been in budget, but I was like, you know what? I don't want to like risk like anyone saying, "Oh, you're over budget" or whatever. So I just got Daniel. I was like, "Oh, you know what? Saves the hassle, saves the stress." I probably would have preferred to put the Whitecaps keeper in, but we're going with Daniel just so there's no controversy or whatever. So yeah, that is going to be the lineup heading into the weekend. Hopefully, it's enough to beat Toby, and yeah, hopefully the boys don't let me down. Looking at the fixtures, to be honest, just quickly as well. So Sporting Kansas City, not a great fixture, but I don't really rate DC that much, to be honest. Ivan Angelo, again, fixture's not insane, but I just think he hopefully is going to turn his season around now. Igor Jesus, Daniel, and obviously Labor have decent fixtures as well. I mean, Jesus one probably not so much actually, but I think he's a good player. And then these two have great fixtures. So I pretty much went for like fixtures with the defender and goalkeeper, and then everywhere else was sort of like not the best fixtures, but hopefully they can get decisive or play well in their respective games. Let's get on to the weekend.
It is Sunday morning. I've just reacted to my team, and yeah, I have learned a lesson from building this team this week. So I did want to throw this into this little vlog section because I want you guys to take this on board. Now, there is a lot of cheap beasts in the MLS, I'll be honest, yeah? But it doesn't really matter if the fixtures aren't good, and you're going to see in the results of this video why that is the case, because as in the lineup building phase, we obviously said, oh, we picked up certain players for fixtures and then certain players because I think that they're good, and I didn't think about the fixtures for them lot. And whilst they might score unreal in certain games, yeah, fixtures are more important than you think in Sorare. So that is the thing I've learned. Make sure you take that on board and don't make the same mistakes that I do.
So the weekend has been. How was your weekend, Toby, mate?
It went alright. A few of the MLS lineups did okay. Contender also okay. Just I'd say a pretty mediocre to good weekend on the whole, on Sorare in general.
Yeah, and my weekend, obviously, as of recording this, Newcastle haven't played, and my gallery is predominantly Newcastle, so I'm still yet to find out how my weekend goes. But you guys watching this video now, you'll know if Newcastle won. So if they did, then you can let me know in the you can celebrate for me in the comments. Actually, you can drop some fires and stuff and be like, yeah. But yeah, without any further ado, let's get into the results of the budget battle. Our channel has finally become a partner with YouTube, and that means that you boys can become a member on the channel. How you would do that is by clicking the join button down below, and you can see all the exclusive perks to becoming a member on this channel. Not only that, but you would be massively helping and supporting a small creator in myself, making more videos like this one for you guys to enjoy. So I would really appreciate if you did join our membership down below. Thank you. Let's get on with the video. Okay, so we are into the results then of the budget battles, and yeah, you know what, Toby, I'll let you go first if you want, mate.
Okay, so the player that absolutely stunk it up this weekend for me in last place was Pedrinho, who got 31.
Pedrinho, what team does he play for?
So he plays for Dallas, and what's really annoying is I was going to start a different guy, Logan Farrington, over him. But then on Predictify it said that Pedrinho was going to start. Turns out Farrington started and he scored.
Ah, that's not fun. Well, I can make you slightly happier, and let you know that my worst performing player scored 20 points this game week. Yep. So I had Shappy for Sporting Kansas City, and I couldn't have got more unfortunate if I tried, because not only did he hit the post, but he also gave away a pen, which was extremely controversial, to be honest. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if you boys seen it. If you're watching this, feel free to go and Google the Sporting Kansas City highlights. But I just personally, for me, that is literally never a pen. But anyway, it is what it is. So I'm sitting on 20, and I'll go ahead and rattle off my second player as well, if you don't mind, Toby. And that was, he just in the same vein. We had Mr. Igor Jesus for LAFC, and he started on the bench, which is always great, and scored himself 24 points because so he came off the bench, and I think they just proceeded to concede about 3 or 4 goals in the second half. And to be honest, I watched a little bit of the game, and I actually feel kind of bad for Igor Jesus, because it was just like he just looked like he couldn't do anything, if you know what I mean. Like, the whole team was just not ideal. So they lost 5-2 to Seattle Sounders. And yeah, my thought process going into the game week was like, well, especially with them two anyway, was sort of like, they're good players. I know it's a tough matchup, but they'll be all right. And yeah, sorely mistaken. So yeah, after 2 results, I'm only on 44 points. So you can go ahead and talk about your second player then, Toby.
So my second player is Sebastian Lletget, another Dallas player. They had a good matchup at home against Chicago. He started this game, but just didn't. He did okay. He scored 40. I mean, they lost 3-1. I only watched the first half, which was 0-0 at half time, and Dallas had a goal just ruled out for offside. So I went to sleep thinking, oh, they're going to win this one comfortably, and woke up to a 3-1 loss. So that puts me at 71 overall so far. Yeah, so the third player is Stian Gregersen from Atlanta, the defender. Used to play for Bordeaux, I think. But he did alright. They kept a clean sheet against Red Bull. He got 55 in total, so that takes me up to 126.
Nice. Alright, so pretty good then. 126. Obviously, I'm only on 44, so up next, or my third best performing player, was Ivan Angelo, and he managed to pick up 46 points, and to be honest, played pretty well, but just unfortunately didn't get his decisive, which has sort of been the story of his season so far. I actually think he's going to be a good little player this season, but he just needs more decisives. But yeah, I guess that's the whole point in the series, really, in budget battles, is to well, a lot of these players that we do use, not only in MLS, just in general, are obviously budget players for a reason. Like, certain game weeks they're gonna cook, and then other game weeks are gonna do terrible. But I feel like Angelo on the right weekend could be a really good pickup. But yeah, unfortunately, only scoring 46, and that takes me to 90 points. And I'm gonna go ahead and give out my fifth player as well then, because I still need to catch you up if that makes sense. So my fifth player was my goalkeeper. I had the San Jose goalkeeper Daniel, who unfortunately didn't keep his clean sheet, but did get 20 AA and scored 55. Again, really good goalkeeper. Love Daniel. San Jose defensively are pretty good, but just didn't manage to get it over the line this game week for me, unfortunately. So yeah, I'm on 145, and I'll let you go ahead with your next player.
So I had a player that played for Minnesota, who obviously ruined your Daniel clean sheet, and that is Robin Lod. I didn't think he was going to start. He did, which I was very, very happy about. He didn't get any decisives, but he finished on 60 overall, which I was very, very happy with. And I think he is a player that, especially playing with Kelvin Yeboah, is going to absolutely smash it this season. He's done it in the past, and for some reason he's still so cheap. But yeah, 60 in total, and that takes me up to 186.
Nice. All right. So I'll get my last player out of the way then, because obviously, I mean, even if with my last player, I can't beat you. So congratulations. But yeah, we'll just rattle off our last couple of players. So my last player actually did score 100. But yeah, which is nice. He's the only one that fancied turning up for me this weekend. And really annoying because so usually with budget battles I have a lot of time, and I make loads of different drafts of teams, but unfortunately I was really pressed for time this week, and I literally only had 6 players, if that makes sense. So yeah, so like as in like I literally there was only one player that I didn't pick, if that makes sense, and it was the goalkeeper for the Whitecaps, who obviously kept a clean sheet as well. But I put in Daniel, like I said, and the guy that scored 100 is the right back for the Whitecaps, who is called Mateus Loboda. But yeah, he managed to score a goal and get a clean sheet, so well played to him. But even with my Vancouver goalkeeper, I wouldn't have beat you, because this puts me on 245 with the goalkeeper. Maybe I would have got like 280, but you've still got one player left, so go on then, reveal him.
Yeah, I do. And it maybe is probably the worst player to lose a budget battle to, and that is Brad Guzan, who I put in goal. He got 62 overall. He kept the clean sheet, which was great because I went for the Atlanta defender and the goalkeeper. He kept his clean sheet. I don't ever think I'll use Brad Guzan again, to be honest. That man scares me when he's in my Sorare teams and is in goal. But he does take me up to 248 in total. So a very overall, a very mediocre. There were no incredible players, but there was no really, really bad ones in my team. So a pretty mediocre weekend from them, which I'll take.
We're going to have to go to VAR for this one. Typically on budget battles we do not use the decimal places because it's never usually that close, and we like to keep things as simple as possible around here. However, after me and Toby were recording last night, we actually decided to cut recording there, and because we did work out actually that our squad difference was 0.1. Therefore, we would need OptaVAR to review it overnight, and we'll come back to the squads the following day, and I will record this clip and see who actually won in the end after OptaVAR. So, with that being said, we're going to have a quick look at Toby's score then. So, Brad Guzan scored 61.7, the defender 54.3, Robin Lod 59.4, the attacker 39.8, and Pedrinho 30.8, which gives him a grand total of 246 points, as you can see on screen here. And then if we look at my squad, Daniel scored himself 56.7. Obviously we know Matthias scored his 100 bomb. Igor Jesus with the worst score of his career, 24.3. Ivan Angelo, 46.3. And Shapi with 20.4. Which gives me a grand total of, drumroll please, 247 points and, well, 0.7 actually. So I did actually manage to win in the end by 1.7 points. So after OptaVAR, we have actually concluded that I somehow beat Toby, although I will say it was literally so close that we had to wait for Opta to do its business. So massive, GG's to Toby, and we're gonna put Toby's wheel on the we're gonna put Toby's team on the spin wheel. So it is the day after recording with Toby. So unfortunately, he can't be with us today as we spin his team on the wheel. But massive, sort of massive GG's to Toby because it was an epic battle, and we did have to literally wait until the next day to conclude who actually won the battle. That's how epic it was. This is definitely the closest budget battles that I have recorded to this date. So yeah, massive sort of GG to Toby on that one. And we're going to spin the wheel. And obviously, if you guys want to get involved in this giveaway, you're going to have to follow us both on Twitter. We'll be announcing all the details and stuff like that on Twitter the next day. But make sure you do go and subscribe to Toby because he is new to YouTube. So let's get him some more subscribers, boys. And we are going to be giving away, drum roll, Brad Guzan, which is kind of fitting because Toby was talking smack about Brad yesterday, so I guess it's only fitting that we give him away to you boys. So with that being said, yeah, if you want to get involved and you want to enter a giveaway to Brad Guzan, go and follow us both on Twitter. So there you have it, boys. A valuable lesson has been learnt today. Whilst we can have so much fun, building these budget lineups for you boys, and we could come up with some great budget shouts. At the end of the day, they are budget for a reason, and they can't always perform on every game week. We can't expect that of them. As me and Toby have sort of displayed in this episode today, we have picked some great players, but they're not always going to perform, and I guess that is the beauty of budget battles. You never know what you're going to get. You only get one lineup, only one shot, only one game week. So yeah, with that being said, we'll absolutely have to revisit some of the guests that we have had on this series, because it is loads of fun, and at the end of the day, it is just sort of a toss-up who wins, who's going to turn up on the given game week. But with that being said, I do want you guys to recommend any people that you haven't seen on the series so far that you do want to see get involved in the next budget battles. With that being said, massive GG to Toby. Of course, was an epic battle, probably the closest that there will ever be in budget battles history. I don't think it's going to get much closer than 1.7, so massive shout out to him. And of course, he is new to Sorare content creating, so I would, with that being said, I think he's only on like 15, 20 odd subscribers, so I know that at least a few of you boys can go over there and drop him some subs and get that to at least double. Come on, he deserves it, especially after putting in such a great performance and working alongside me to sort of make this video possible. So yeah, massive shout out to Toby. His links will be in the description down below, so be sure to go and drop him a sub and maybe a little comment and say Flynn sent you. With that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Please do leave a like if you did, and if you're new, of course, subscribe to me. Why not? We're making great content every week, so yeah, I would really appreciate that, and we'll catch you guys in a future video. Peace.